I had invested into the Heated Rivalry books before the show came out.
Wow.
Because I saw the teasers and I'm like, this is going to be huge. And I'd been telling everyone at work, like, Heated Rivalry is coming out tonight. Like, go home, watch Heated Rivalry. At this time, I didn't know how spicy it was. And so I came in on the Monday and I had to look everyone in the eye. And everyone's like, yeah, we watched Heated Rivalry. And I'm like, so did I.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Off the Shelf. Today's guest has one of the dream jobs in publishing and book selling. I am joined by Kaitlynd Carmichael, a print category manager at Indigo, who specifically works across the romance genre. Kaitlynd helps shape what readers see in stores, which books get spotlighted, and which trends take over the romance space. Kaitlynd, welcome to Off the Shelf.
Hi, Morgan.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Of course. Now, I want to talk about what you do at Indigo, how you started working there. What does a romance buyer at Indigo actually do?
A lot. No, I love my job. It is so fun. But I am in charge of a lot of different things. I am in charge of the financials. And so I have a portfolio that I have to do business reviews on every single week and talk about what's working and what's not working. But the biggest part of my job is I'm a buyer. And so every single month I sit down with my publishing partners and we go through their catalogs and they sell into me and they tell me what the big books are, what they're really hoping to make like the next big thing and what authors they're investing in. And I go through their catalogs and I make those choices. So when you walk into any Indigo at the front of the store and you see books on the bestseller list, that is me making that choice to put it on that discount and have it there. We also work on our stacks and making sure that when you go into the actual stacks section of the store, that we have all of the representation that we want and that all of the key trends are being leaned into. We've had to do a lot of work the last couple of months because of Heated Rivalry.
Right, of course.
Yes, of course. And so it is very fast paced. The trends are always changing in romance. And it is so many touch points, but it is very fun.
When you're meeting with your publishing partners, what about like a new book in a series or a debut will like catch your eye where you're like, this could be something? Like, is there any specific selling points?
There's always selling points, but I think when you're creating a bestseller, there are a million things like the cover, the trope, the plots, and the romance readers, they have this down to a science. Like, there are the dark romance readers, there are the sweet romance readers, there are the emotional romance readers, and some of them really like specific tropes like sports romance, stuff like that. And so when I'm sitting down with them, I'm just kind of going over that list of what would work here. What does the reader want and what is the reader going to be gravitated towards? And I just put myself back into a romance reader's shoes. If I was going into a store, what would catch my eye? What would I buy? What would I invest in? And it's something that I take very seriously. I want to make sure that every single romance reader out there feels represented by what we have on the shelves.
What kind of reader are you? Like, I know you're speaking on behalf of all romance readers, but like, what do you like to read?
I love yearning.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
Yeah. I'm not like specifically into any type of trope. I will read broadly across it, but I don't love like a fast romance. I want a slow burn. I want to be on the edge of my seat for 400 pages. I want to be yearning for that man. I want to be emotional, and that's the type of reader I am.
Yeah, fair. I think a lot of us are turning into emotional readers these days. Like, I used to be a very like heavily trope-based reader where like I knew a trope was in that book, I'm picking it up. And now I'm leaning towards books that are like just gonna make me feel something. And the tropes are more of like an added bonus for me.
Agreed.
Which is why like I loved Promise Me Sunshine. Like, I went into that like wanting an emotional read versus, I don't even remember what tropes are in that book, if any like major ones, other than like found family. I don't remember.
I don't think
like
so.
the tropes don't stand out as much as the emotional reading these days. So that's interesting. What is happening behind the scenes at Indigo when a book starts to blow up? like Heated Rivalry?
Oh my goodness. Flashbacks. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. So when Heated Rivalry blew up, I was basically on the phone with my publishing partner that morning. It was Monday morning after it had come out. And I remember when I watched Heated Rivalry, I kind of knew that it was going to be a huge thing. So this process actually started way before it blew up. So I had invested into the Heated Rivalry books and had brought them onto the bestseller list before the show came out.
Wow.
Because I knew that I wanted to support a Canadian author and Canadian TV. Both of those are things that really matter to me. And I had lunch with Rachel Reed last summer, and she had told me about Heated Rivalry and how it was being made into a show, and that got me really excited. And so as soon as I saw like the first trailer come out, I think it was September at this time, I immediately got on the phone with Harlequin, and I said, hi, I want to take this amount and put it on the bestseller list, and I really want to make a big moment for Rachel Reed. And in the lead up to the show coming out, they had started putting teasers out, and I saw the teasers and I'm like, this is going to be huge. And so immediately I went back to them and I called them again. I said, I need more.
We need more.
We need more. The show hasn't even come out yet. Yeah. And so we got more, and I'm so excited. And I'd been telling everyone at work, like, Heated Rivalry is coming out tonight. Like, go home, watch Heated Rivalry, have like a little party. At this time, I didn't know how spicy it was. And so I'm like looking my boss in the eye, like, go home, watch Heated Rivalry tonight. Like, let's talk about it on Monday.
Damn.
I remember I watched the first 2 episodes because the first 2 came out at the same time. And I was like, Jacob Tierney just changed the world. Like,
and those first 2 episodes are also like the peak spice level.
Exactly.
And that's what like I've been telling people too, because like sometimes if they're apprehensive to start because of the level of spice, I'm like, the first 2 are heavy in it.
Yeah.
The remaining 4 are more emotional watches.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you're, like, I'm like, just push through. But I'm like, why would you not want that? But
yeah. And so I came in on the Monday and I had to look everyone in the eye, and everyone's like, yeah, we watched Heated Rivalry. And I'm like, so did I.
Yeah.
But that Monday was also pure chaos because over the weekend, we basically sold out of everything we had, and we were the most prepared retailer in the world. We had heavily invested, and we were now like, there was nothing. And so I got on the phone again with Harlequin, and I'm like, I need to reprint. And they're like, you and everybody else, like, everyone wants this book. And so it was very much like a logistics thing where we had to do forecasting and do a ton of math and figure out like, how long is this trend going to last and how much do we need? Like, and every week we had to reforecast because it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we just didn't know what the ceiling was. And so thank goodness my lovely inventory analyst, Jody Ann, she had to reforecast every single week up until mid-February, I think, for the needs of Rachel Reed, because it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Do you remember which week, or like even if there was like an episode drop that like really spiked sales? Like, when was like peak people buying Heated Rivalry?
So I would say the first week was like the biggest like unexpected thing, but I would say after episode 5, I'm coming to the cottage.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm coming to the cottage, and like the whole winning the cup, and like that, I sobbed. Like it just hit me straight in the chest.
Same.
That scene.
Yeah.
And what was even better than, I think probably was what was matched with reading the books was the TikTok edits of everyone doing that. Oh, I love a TikTok edit. God bless our editors.
We're so lucky
to
live in the time of TikTok edits, especially for romance.
Oh gosh.
We're so lucky. Like the other day I was reading a book and I couldn't imagine their faces. So I was like, I bet there's an edit on TikTok. Like I'll just go and see if somebody's put a mood board together.
Oh, yeah.
And within a minute I had my couple and I had my vision. I was able to get back to my book, but I feel so lucky to be alive right now.
Editors are great.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what was I just going to ask you? How has Heated Rivalry impacted romance as a whole and like queer romance stories?
Oh, I love this question. I am so thankful for Heated Rivalry because now everybody else is taking the genre seriously. It has always been something that has been big, but it was more of like an underground like subgenre where it just hadn't broken into the mainstream yet. Like I remember 10 years ago when I was in university, I had a friend who exclusively read hockey romances.
Oh.
And so she got me into them 10 years ago, and I'm like, these are great. But I had never seen the sales take off like that. And like we have a couple anomalies over the years, like red, white, and royal blue.
Yes.
So, like there are books that do buzz to the top and break out. But this one, it gave such a drive to everything else in the genre. I remember it was Christmas vacation, and episode 5 had just come out, and it wasn't supposed to be working, but I was like, I need to create a list right now for everybody to reference. So I was like frantically on Goodreads and Google and Reddit and just trying to find like what I could do and get the assortment into the stores. And so my assistant Jodie Ann, she came in, and it was like the Monday after the break, and I'm like, please order these right now because we need to get a table. We need to get these in the stacks. And we saw a huge lift across a lot of those books that we assorted.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's so incredible though. Have you ever seen a book fly off the shelves as quickly as Heated Rivalry? Like what would be another title that?
Ooh, so a couple months ago at Christmas, we had created a viral Christmas advent calendar. The Christmas Eve Love Story by Ginny Baird. And that went viral on TikTok. And I think we sold out in like 2 days. There was 4 million views of just one TikTok, and there was several TikToks. So that one flew off the shelves, and it was an advent calendar that you had to rip open the pages, so it's not easily something you can reprint. And so I was on the phone trying to find someone to print it, and like some people were like, we can't get this reprinted until April. Like, like this is a Christmas book.
So Christmas is over by then.
Exactly. And this is September at this time. And we made it work, and we ended up finding somebody who could do it. And they were in the warehouse hand binding it themselves because that's what it took to get it back on shelves. People were doing it by hand.
That's
crazy.
Pretty crazy. How much does BookTok or TikTok influence like what ends up selling in stores?
It is a huge influence.
Do you think it's more than what people expect, or is it about what?
I think actually people don't expect it because the word of mouth has always been the way that you sell books. I can't tell you how many times a favorite book of mine is because somebody recommended it to me. And our booksellers are so good when they're in stores. They're out hand selling, and they're having conversations with customers. And it's because we're all really passionate about it. And BookTok is just kind of an extension of that. You don't have to be a bookseller. You don't have to be an author. You don't have to be like a creator. You just have to be passionate about something and get on there. And people are getting on there every single day. And there's some really great things about BookTok. BookTok can also be a little bit of a scary place, but it is very helpful to the book industry.
What is the most rewarding part about your job?
I honestly just I love seeing authors win. When a book takes off, I take so much happiness from that. I have an author, Hannah Bonham Young.
I love Hannah.
I love Hannah, and she really took off last fall, and that was so incredible to watch. And she posted the beautiful video of her receiving the call that she was a New York Times bestselling author. And I remember crying while watching that because I was just so genuinely happy for her. So I think I just really love when the book industry wins. It's so great.
Especially a Canadian author. Yeah, it's big. And I think, to go back on Heated Rivalry a little bit, like it elevated Canadian stories, Canadian talent so much more than it ever has. And I think a lot of people will be forever grateful for that. And I think it's also important that like we're using more Canadian like I know a lot of things film here. It's really nice to like see some of like the Canadian talent and people involved.
Honestly, and I love the Canadian talent, but I also love that most of them are basing their stories in Canada.
Yes.
And so the Canadian landscape is getting talked about. And I was having a dinner last night with somebody from HarperCollins, and we were talking about this, how like Elsie Silver is huge over in the UK. And yeah.
Interesting.
And so,
I know she's big everywhere, but the UK, interesting.
Yeah, in the UK. And it's so interesting to think of them reading about the Canadian landscape over there, because all of those books are based here, and they're Canadian cowboys or Canadian bull riders, stuff like that. And it's so interesting. And then Carly Fortune's over there.
I was going to say, people travel to Barry's Bay because of her books.
Exactly. Like I took a trip to PEI a couple years ago when that one book came out, and we followed the map in the back of the book because of Carly. And we did like a whole Carly Fortune family vacation. Like I love when books are based in Canada, and getting to explore Canada through the eyes of authors and getting inspired. It is the best.
Yeah. And this summer will be different. The PEI based one just got picked up by Netflix, and
I know.
I love that they're filming between PEI and Toronto, as they should.
Yes.
But sometimes it's not following an adaptation. I get it, but I'm really, really happy they are using the East Coast for that.
I can't wait to see it.
Now, how do you think romance has changed over the last 10 years?
Oh, it has really changed.
We go from like little mass market paperbacks to almost being embarrassed to read romance. That's how I felt growing up. To now, romance is not perfect. It's not fully embraced, I don't think, in the reading community sometimes, but we're making a difference. But how do you think it's changed?
Oh, it's really changed. And I think a lot of it came about during the pandemic, to be honest. We've seen a huge growth in sales since then. We are consistently comparing to the pre-COVID years, and the growth is astronomical. And I think that going back to BookTok, I think people were finally talking about it in an open and public way, and the shame got peeled back and community was found instead. And that is one of the things that I love the most about the romance industry is the community. I can't tell you how many times I go to events and I see people continuously that I've seen at other events. They are showing up, they are making friends, they're exchanging friendship bracelets. And it is so beautiful and so supportive. And that is probably the biggest difference in the romance community. When we come to publishing, it is very different from what we were doing 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I think we kind of had like the new adult wave where we were like exploring the college years, and that was the trend mostly in romance. The Elle Kennedy came on the scene and stuff like that. And now it is so vast. You could find a trope. Like you could mix a million tropes and I would still be able to find you that book. There are so many trends within it and micro trends. And like at any given time, I'm over here working with dark romances, and then I have to step back and I have to go work on the cowboy romances because they're having a resurgence, or I have to go over here and work on the really sad books. So that's a micro trend that's been bubbling up. And I am just continuously putting myself into the shoes of every single type of romance reader and finding what they need and what they want and what's next.
You kind of somewhat answered my next question. Ooh. You know your stuff. There was an article listing the biggest romance categories at the end of 25. Why do you think dark romance, cowboy romance, and cozy seasonal romance are hitting so hard right now?
So dark romance is a way of exploring some really like taboo topics, difficult subjects in a controlled environment. You have a book, you can pick it up, you can put it down, and you have autonomy there, and you can decide what your limits are. And so it's also kind of like a thrill. And so it's not something you would do in real life, and you know that. You as a reader know who you are and your morals, but sometimes it's fun to be a mafia princess for a day. So I think that there's a big appeal there. And then for cowboy romance, I honestly think that like it's just such a fun little like familiar landscape. You kind of know what you're getting, and it's like these rugged situations. And cowboy romance has been huge forever,
I
to
love
be
a
honest.
cowboy
Like
romance.
going back to Harlequin like 50 years ago.
Fair,
like
yeah.
you could walk into any used bookstore and find a million cowboy romances. So it's nothing new, but it is back in a big way. And then seasonal cozy romances, that is actually kind of new. We've never seen it at the extent it is right now. We all love a cozy holiday rom-com. Like Hallmark is big for a reason. And it's because we at that time of year you want to get into that vibe.
Yep.
But a couple years ago when the Pumpkin Spice Cafe came out,
Okay, this is Lori Gilmore.
Yes.
This is who I'm thinking of. Like when I think of cozy seasonal romance, I'm thinking about those books.
Yeah, and so she started what I call pumpkin spice fiction, which is the trend right now. And we weren't really leaning into like any kind of autumnal romances because there just weren't any. There were some, but like nothing to that extent. And she just started this wave where everyone realized, oh, this is what people want. Like pumpkin spice doesn't just sell drinks, it sells books. And so everybody else was trying to get in on that trend. And now we're going into the third year of that trend and it's not slowing down. And it's really cool because from like August up until like January, you have this big wave of seasonals. So you have the pumpkin spice and you have the Halloween books, and it also opened up an avenue for the magical realism books, like books about witches and stuff like that. And so you have like that going into October, and then you go immediately into the holiday books, and it's a really, really fun space, and readers are engaging with it and talking about it. And like I remember seeing on BookTok or on Book Instagram, so many curated seasonal lists.
Oh yeah,
and like it's just people love like talking about it.
It gets us through the seasonal depression.
It gets us through the seasonal depression. It's the perfect vibe. It's so cozy, and again, the community of it all. Everybody is reading the same books, doing these book clubs, and doing it in a big way. And now we're seeing Advent now. It's going to be the next big trend. We saw that with our Advent calendar this past year. Sold out, had to go bind it in the warehouse. But now everybody else is trying to get on that. And a bunch of publishers are now doing Advent romances for this coming year.
What are you predicting is going to be the biggest romance trend or trope of 2026?
I think that we're really seeing a resurgence of emotional romances right now. They are really flying off the shelves, and I think that readers are looking for that like really hard-hitting gut punch book. It's not going to be for everybody, but I do see a lot more of them being sold in right now, and I do see a lot of people talking about like crying on the internet.
Yes.
and the way of connecting through those experiences in those books. So I do think that we are going to see a resurgence of that. We currently are seeing that, but more publishers are picking up on that trend.
What are some titles right now that readers are loving in emotional reading?
Ooh, okay. So obviously readers are loving like the Binding 13 series, The Boys of Tommen by Chloe Walsh. Those are flying off the shelves. There is a book coming from Simon & Schuster, Please Don't Go by E. Salvatore, and that's coming. And I'm so excited about that one. One of my really great friends, Jess, she read The Ark and was in bits about it. And she's one of those people who loves an emotional read, and she likes to read them back to back to back. Like she loves to go down a spiral.
Good for her.
Good for her. She
can't do that.
She's a strong one. But a couple weeks ago, she went down a really emotional route, and that was one of the standout books that she loved, as well as Unbound by Peyton Corinne. Loved that one.
Okay, I don't think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it was a tough one.
Yeah, I got a tough one, happy book, thriller, repeat.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I have to do it. I'm not reading emotional ones back. I'm not crying and crying.
Yeah.
Can't do
I don't think you do well with Boys of Tommen.
I've read book one.
We've talked about this.
We've talked about the most recent one, and I don't know if I will make it to that.
I don't think that I would recommend it to you.
Okay.
Another book where heavy trigger warnings.
Yeah, and I just read The Names by Florence Knapp.
Did you love it?
I did. I really did.
Yeah.
But that was the first book I think I've ever read with that level of domestic violence.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
It might actually be the only one I've ever read, because I like a book for escape, and I didn't want to read about that, but I had seen so many incredible reviews about that novel, and man, that put me through the ringer a bit. I was crying on the treadmill when I was reading it.
Yeah. One of the things I really love about books is the fact that it can put you in those shoes and make you understand something that heavy. It is such a difficult topic, but again, going back to romance is not just happy stuff. It deals with a lot of real life issues.
Yeah.
And it is constantly giving you an outlet to process things.
I think romance is a good vehicle to carry a bunch of other grief and connection and found. Like, there are just, it's good overarching, but there's so much underneath the surface.
Yeah, because with romance, at least you're guaranteed there's a happily ever after or a happy ending.
For sure.
And that the road to get there is going to be a little hard, very hard. But at the end, you get rewarded. And that is how a lot of these stories are getting popular, is because there's a sense of feeling seen, and then a sense of relief at the end because you get to close the book. Yeah. And it's wrapped up.
You mentioned arcs. Does working at Indigo mean you can get advanced copies of any book you want?
Sometimes not any book, but most of the time, yes. Like if I were to go to Bloomsbury and say, hey, can I have the next Sarah J. Maas?
I don't think anyone can get their hands on that.
No, that's under lock and key. So not everything, but definitely for like debuts or authors that we're building, I often go to my publishing partners and say, hey, can I read this book? I have these plans, blah, 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 blah. And they often just send me the books.
Got it.
And so I'll arrive at my desk in the morning and I'll have a little present.
Christmas morning every time.
Exactly. And so I'll like invite people down and be like, do you want to do an unboxing with me?
What has been an arc you've received? What has been like the most exciting arc you've seen on your desk recently?
Ooh, okay. We got the new Carly Fortune arc a couple months ago.
Okay.
And it's not even my book. She lives in general fiction with another buyer, Christy. And Christy held it up, and I think I literally fell out of my chair.
I also just got it couple weeks ago, and I have so many books to read right now, but I'm in the first couple of chapters. Incredible.
Yeah,
as per usual.
It's Carly Fortune, of course.
Wait, so it's not romance?
No,
it's general fiction.
It's general fiction, yeah.
Dumb question. Are the other ones general fiction?
Yes.
Why am I imagining them in the romance section?
I wish they were, but they're in the general fiction section.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so is Emily Henry.
Okay, that I knew.
Yeah.
And that I often recommend Emily Henry because of that reason, because I'm like, if you're not used to the romance, you might still like Emily Henry as a starting point because there's a lot more going on.
Yeah.
What would you recommend to start with? If someone was like, I really want to get into the romance genre, where would you recommend starting?
Okay. I have a fail-safe that I always recommend to people because I've never heard anything bad about it.
About a specific book?
A specific book. It is Wild Love by Elsie Silver, and it is so funny. The banter in it is just incredible, and it's such an easy way of getting back into reading. And so I think I've bought that book 5 times because I keep giving it away to people when they visit my house, and I don't get my books back. It's fine.
This is why I don't lend books out unless I either know they're not coming back or they're not coming back in the greatest shape ever. I will often recommend Heartless by Elsie Silver.
I love Heartless.
And I know like the single dad trope like can be hit or miss for seasoned romance readers, but I find someone who doesn't read a lot, like my best friend Brooke, I gave it to her, devoured it, couldn't pull her away from the book.
So my boss is a man, and he loves that whole Rose Hill series by Elsie Silver.
Good for
and
him.
I had recommended it to him, and I think he went camping, and he took it with him, and he loved it. And so he's read every single book in the series.
Wow.
Yeah.
More men need to read romance.
More men need to read romance.
There's no negative downsides to men reading romance, in my opinion.
I agree. I think that they're honestly missing out.
Yeah.
We're having the best time over here.
Yeah.
We have a community. We always have something to talk about. And if you want to talk to women, read the books they're reading.
Yeah. Or at least know what the romance first date, like she talks about reading, just pull out, I don't know, any book title.
Literally,
They'll love it.
I think at this point, like, it should be how have you not read ACOTAR? Like,
I know.
Like, if you're going on a first date with a woman, like, you should know who Rhysand is.
Yes. I would guess that every man has someone in their family, a sister, a mom, an aunt that's reading it. Like, at this point, that cover is engraved in people's brains, I feel like.
Read it.
Okay. We asked you to bring your top 3 or 4 books of the last year of 2025. I don't know them. I almost took a peek at your Goodreads to like be a bit nosy, and I know they're behind you, so I'm going to have you reveal one at a time your top books.
All right.
Ready?
Book 1.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I've read this. I love this book.
Do you?
Absolutely.
Great.
Yes.
We have the funniest story about this one.
Promise me sunshine. Okay, do share.
So at Indigo last year, we did a best of the year reading committee, and it had about 100 people across the organization, and we all really vigorously read for a month straight. And somebody in the company came up to me and she said, "Hi, Kaitlynd, can I make a suggestion for like your long list of what you should be reading?" And she said, "Promise Me Sunshine" by Cara Bastone is one of the best romances written ever. And I was like, absolutely, let's get this on the list. And we had, I think, 7 people in that room, and every single one of us was blown away. It is such an emotional read. And that's one of the things I love about romance, is that it's not just like the fun rom-com moments, the spicy scenes. It's also a way of processing really deep emotions. And this book, it's about grief. It's processing the loss of a really significant loved one, a best friend. And it is one of the best books I've ever read, and I will read anything by Cara Bastone now.
Yeah, and she has come in here, and she's a gem. She's
really
an absolutely lovely human being. She
I love her.
is just and I love that book. Put me through a lot though.
Yeah,
and I've been blessed to not experience a lot of grief in my life, and that one put me through a lot. Actually.
Yeah.
So
you definitely feel it in this one. So that's book 1.
Okay, that's book 1. What's book 2?
Book 2.
Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. This is one I'm scared to read, very much so.
You should be.
Yeah. Talk to me about it a little bit.
So this is a really hard read, and for the love of God, please check the trigger warnings. It is very important, but it is very hard to read, and it's not going to be for everybody. It has themes of domestic abuse in it, and it is very well written. She is someone who takes care when she's writing, and I highly recommend it, and I highly recommend her as an author. I'm currently doing a spiral of her whole backlist, and I'm in love with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have bought it. It's on my shelf. and I know it's incredible, and I think I will, despite not loving like darker books sometimes, I think I will love that one. I need to be in a okay.
Yeah.
I need to be like, I don't know if it's better to read it while I'm already like sad, because it's going to make me more sad, or to read it when I'm in a happy mood and destroy that.
I think that's something you have to decide.
Yeah. Which is why I haven't picked it up yet.
Yeah.
Anyways. Okay, next
highly
one.
recommend.
What have we got?
Book 3.
Wait, who is this? This is Role Model by Rachel Reed, is
Yes.
book 3.
So this is, I believe this is the 5th book in the series. It is about Troy and Harris, and it's kind of like a redemption arc. Earlier in the series, Troy is a little bit of a bully, and we don't really like him, but it turns out he is just very heavily closeted, and he was using his demeanor as kind of a way of getting the attention off of him. And it is so important to me when season 2 of Heated Rivalry comes out. If I don't see these two on my screen, I'm going to be in a corner crying.
Were they in season 1 at all?
Not at all.
Were they in any of the books?
Yeah, so Rachel Reed, she really has a universe going. So
Yeah.
Ilya is in every single book, and he's very
Of course he
heavily
is.
in this one. He is such a menace. He is probably like almost every chapter he is up to something. It's so funny, and it is very beautiful. It's one of the best love stories I've ever read.
This one?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's very sweet.
Okay. I've read book 1, Game Changers, book 2, Heated Rivalry. I think I have The Long Game on hold at the library. Let me pick up that one next. Yeah. I got to read the whole universe, and I got to read it in order. So.
Yeah. I do think that they're going to have a significant role in the show.
You think? For season 2?
I'm hoping.
We'll see. Okay.
Yeah.
Last one. What do we have? Only in Your Dreams by Ellie K. Wilde. Okay, I just read If Only You Knew. I absolutely loved that one. Mm-hmm. Why is this one your favorite?
Okay, so this book is so notebook coded. I don't want to give any spoilers, but like if Noah and the main character in this one were standing side by side, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It is.
I think that's enough to convince people to read it, truthfully. Not a fan of The Notebook, but
that's fine.
I do understand why people are.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, so that's the haul.
That's
Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone, Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan, Role Model by Rachel Reed, and Only in Your Dreams by Ellie K. Wilde.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Indigo dropped a top book boyfriends list in no particular order, which included Alex Nielsen from People Meet on Vacation, Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov from Heated Rivalry, Charlie Florrick from One Golden Summer, Josh Chen from Twisted Hate,
I think.
And Dominic Alexander. Don't know where he's from right now.
Release Me? I think it's Release Me.
How would you rank them?
Ooh. Pass.
No, you can't rank them?
To pick a favorite book boyfriend, that's so hard. Okay. Okay.
I'll do it after you.
So are there 5?
Okay, there's Alex, Shane, Ilya, Charlie, Dominic, and Josh.
Okay.
There's 6.
There's 6.
6
okay.
book boyfriends.
But then, like, I don't want to make someone the loser.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Or just, it doesn't have to be a loser, just like the top favorites.
Okay. Can I just tell you, like, my top 3?
Yeah,
okay.
Do that. That's fine.
All right. Okay. So top 3 would be Dominic.
I gotta read this book.
You gotta read this book.
Oh my gosh.
Then Ilya and Shane. Oh gosh, what are my other options?
Alex and Josh and Charlie.
Charlie.
Okay.
Charlie's number 1.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you my full 6.
Okay.
Alex, obviously, because People Meet on Vacation is my god tier romance novel. Well, here's where it gets hard, because as much as I love Charlie, I don't like the events that happen in Every Summer After. So I can't put him at number 2. So Shane and Ilya have to go number 2 and 3. Then Charlie. Then Dominic, even knowing I don't know who he is, Josh is number 6. Because as much as I loved Twisted Hate, have you read the book?
No.
Okay, I won't spoil it then. There is a scene in the book and he says 2 words and it ruined the absolute whole book for me.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
That does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I was so mad because I loved it because they were lawyers. I think. Yeah, they're definitely lawyers. And yeah. But I do recommend this. Like, it's a pretty great series.
Yeah.
So, okay. Last couple of questions before you.
Okay.
Your Instagram bio says you're a writer. What can you tell us about what you're writing?
So I am currently working on a book with my really good friend Maddie, and we're working on a romantasy. She had found out that I was a writer about a year and a half ago, and she slid into my DMs and basically demanded that I write a book with her. And I said yes. And so we've spent a lot of time working that out, and we had to build a whole world, which is so hard.
Yeah.
Especially because I read mostly contemporary romances because that's my job. And to step back into the fantasy game, which is kind of my roots. That's how I grew up.
Same.
And
Okay, we have the same trajectory then.
I was a huge fantasy reader growing up and as a teen, and having to build that world was probably the hardest part. Now we're in the writing stage and it's really fun. And our main character is a himbo, which is one of my favorite types of men.
What is that?
A himbo?
Yeah.
So he's someone who is very silly and doesn't have all of his wits about him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never even heard that term before.
Really?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Never. But thanks for the education lesson a little bit.
I love a silly little guy. And like he's gonna save the day, but he's gonna do a million things wrong before he saves the day, Like
Okay.
he's gonna be bumbling to victory is what a himbo does.
And how far are we from a potential publication date?
We are hoping to have it done this year, but that's all I can say.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I will take that. Last question for you. What is one upcoming book release that if you could put into anyone's hands right now,
Ooh.
what would it be?
So I just read this book. It's not my book. It's Christy's book again. It's general fiction. It's called Trope Sick by Lauren Oakey.
I have this arc.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was incredible. Her writing is fantastic. She mixes prose so well. And it's got a little bit of magical realism, which is not my vibe at all. Like
I'm definitely hit or miss with a magical realism novel.
Yeah. And it was incredible because it's Second Chance, which is my favorite trope. That is so controversial.
I know.
Yeah.
I also love a second chance.
I love
now.
a second chance trope. And so that is how I picked this book up. Is I was like, this is my favorite trope. I'm going to love it. And it's about two writers who are working together to finish the novel.
A book about books.
A book about books. And they're finishing a novel of a very famous writer. Like, think like the female James Patterson. Like, this woman is big, and so they are thrown together on this project, and you get flashbacks of when they were teenagers and what happened and why they ended up parting ways. And it's also a book about grief. Again, see that
there's a pattern, guys.
There's a pattern. the next big trend is emotional books. So I would put that into the hands of most people because I'm consistently seeing people post about it and wanting that arc, and I feel very lucky to have read it before it comes out, and I hope everyone enjoys it.
Okay, I'm immediately gonna go home and read that then. Thank you for coming on and
Thank
chatting.
you.
I learned so much. What a himbo is, the rivalry impact, all of it. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun.
And thank you all for listening to Off the Shelf, and we will see you next Thursday.